Now we come to our wonderful guest of honor today, very dear friend Chakravarti Garu, AVPS. Is a global brand ambassador, World Packaging Organization, and a CEO and managing director of his company, EcoPlace India Private Limited. The least said, the better about Chakravarti Garu. He's been such a sterling professional all over the world, and that's why he's been named as the global brand ambassador. Very proud of you, Chakravarti Garu. Very fortunate to have you on board. He's been the CEO and managing director of his company, EcoPlus, which is an internationally renowned company for its packaging innovation. The more I hear from him, the more I read about him, the more excited I get. He's delivered keynote addresses, shared and mentored various global conclaves and programs in packaging, food and pharma landscape, and he's very fond of connecting and networking all over the world. You can read the awards and accolades as given down under UVM recognition from Excel, my dear from Excel Pro and on board of directors, Padma Mohan Award and Andhra Packaging Leadership Award, TV5 Business Leader Finalist, so on and so forth. So welcome aboard, Chakravarti Garu. Look forward to listening to you in a fantastic space. It's now proud privilege to invite our guest of honor, Chakravarti Garu, to speak about not only API, pharmaceutical industry, and also packaging. As all of us know this morning, we've gone through the new dimension, which is going to be effective from 1st of January 2023, about the QR code on API packaging. And that's going to do away with falsification and suboptimal kind of APIs that we've been privy to. The fact of the life that 20% of our APIs today in the country are either substandard or fake. So with these words, I'll now invite our guest of honor, Chakravarti Garu, to take over the stage. Over to you, Chakravarti Garu.
Thank you very much, Dr. Duvasa. And it's a great privilege to participate in this panel with subject matter experts and mentors like you all around. It's a feeling like I'm intruding among the experts. Nevertheless, thanks to CII and the organizers for giving all of us this opportunity to speak about little optimistically in the scenario. The reason I selected my background also is a bright sunshine. So we're all looking for this pandemic to become endemic very soon, and it will. And who else will be the facilitator? None other than our own pharmaceutical industry. We have great respect to the industry, very much we belong to. In fact, this morning, our another good friend, the IPS Secretary General, Mr. Sudarshan Jain, was sharing information wherein in general public, the belief and the trust in a pharmaceutical industry in respective countries, India stands tall with 80% of the trust kept in pharmaceutical industry. But for the few flaws, like in any other industry, this Indian pharmaceutical industry has contributed significantly for the healthcare, the global healthcare, not just Indian healthcare, as you all agree. And that's a great moment of pride for all of us. Well, coming to this topic, as it was mentioned, I will not just content to talk just on ABIs, which experts like you, all of you are doing it. But with my limited knowledge, I will try to attempt to speak something about our industry, our own pharmaceutical industry in India, what is happening currently and what is the way forward, what are the challenges, whatever in the limited knowledge, I try to attempt to speak a little bit about it. Well, my dear friends, we're all optimistic. Who thought, Dr. Dua keeps saying a few decades ago, we are importing all the drugs from other countries. Now we are in a position to export to more than 215 countries. Is it not a matter of great pride for us? And who thought just a couple of decades ago, I think in the year 2002 or something like that, the figure stands hardly at 4.2 billion or something like that. Today it's close to 45, 50 billion. It's more than 10 times growth just in the span of 2 decades. So why we should not be optimistic? Why we should not set our goals very rich and ambitious? I think we can, and we can do that. And you all agree, India is the largest provider of the generic drugs, everyone knows, globally. And we supply almost 50% of our global demand for various vaccines today. It's another matter of great pride for us. We are self-reliant, and also we are trying to help the other countries as well, especially under these testing conditions, the pandemic conditions. And the 40% of generic demand in the US, as Dr. Duva rightly said, one tablet out of every three tablets is being consumed in US is manufactured in India. And yeah, globally, if you see 25% of the all medicines across 20% globally and 25% in UK, and definitely regulated markets, we are the winners. And to go to the stats, we rank third in terms of production, and also, of course, value by 14th. But it's not a matter of great shame, because India is producing affordable drugs, my dear friends. Let's not forget that fact. So in the volume, when you are there by rank third, we should be proud of it, even though we are lagging far behind in the value terms, which will happen eventually. And we have a domestic pharmaceutical industry also. We have scores of, at least in the organized sector, we have more than 3 to 5,000 of industries, and more than 15,000 industries and MSMEs and all, include everything. And we enjoy a great position globally. And also we have a large pool of, see here, we might talk a little sense, because there is no dearth of knowledge. There is no dearth of scientists and engineers and a great potential in India. So why we are optimistic, why people like me and Dr. Luar are always optimistic about the Indian pharmaceutical industry. We don't have any dearth of knowledge. We don't have any dearth of the pool of the great technology and the people, scientists and all, who will eventually steer our industry. The captains of pharmaceutical industry, we are all aware how they are taking to greater strides in their respective areas. And imagine we have around 80% of the antiretroviral drugs used globally are being manufactured to just combat the deadly AIDS, and it's another great matter of pride for us. Well, when you say that, what will be the future for pharmaceutical industry as a whole? I think a lot of disruptive technologies. Dr. Ravi knows very well in his own company and peers company, the emerging trends on various integration of the artificial intelligence and augmented reality, especially in the robotics in clusters, not the holistic robotics, but robotics in clusters. This is happening all over. 3D printing, we have precision medicines, which we were talking about, and the patient-centric healthcare is on the anvil. In the future, it will be prevention rather than a cure, as everybody agrees. And we also anticipate the export of generic medicines to the developed markets would be on the rise. And he has given the hope, because the regulator markets always will have an edge. Whatever the lagging we have on APIs and other fronts and R&D, but definitely we are definitely optimistic, and we anticipate to play a major role in the global pharmaceutical research and development R&D angle also, like our captains of industry, Dilip Bhai Sangvi and Pankaj Bhai Patel, and our dear friend Satish from Dr. Reddy's. Recently, they have deliberated their insights. Glenn also has given a very optimistic view. Glenn Saltana of Glenmark. After listening to all of them, my beliefs have become strengthened, and I think all of you agree onto that. And R&D, when you're talking about research and innovation, the key action areas always to move up the value chain, definitely. And you may be asking why you are so optimistic. I personally feel there are several opportunities for the Indian pharma industry to move up the value chain. And as you all, as we keep learning from all of you, move beyond generics. Of course, generics is the core strength for us, but the future definitely not lies only in generics. Of course, generics is going to exist, but exploring the opportunities in biosimilars and new chemical entities, that NCEs, what we call. And this is going to be a game changer in the coming years also, to establish India as a real global innovation hub, And people like Kiran Majumdar Shah, Madam, and other lot of other people are already working on this. Pankaj Bhai Patel, to name, definitely they are working on this. And then we have a holistic and sustainable healthcare also. We have to see how we can increase our footprint by just yeah, getting increased acceptability of the digital technologies and the potential to improve the healthcare and all. And yeah, some people might say, but how we are competent in this area? Definitely, why not? Because India is on the verge of digital revolution. Definitely, it's only a beginning. What we are seeing in the coming years, I think a lot of unexpected things are going to happen, my dear friends. Imagine a simple Aadhaar card. If it is integrated and simplified, the delivery-based healthcare also, we can link into that and also create and maintain rather leveraging healthcare also data completely as it is being done in Scandinavian countries nowadays because the whole the entire citizens of the total country, their health, their status of the health is completely mapped. Of course, there will be a lot of security and the firewalls, but there is a complete platform. It will be easy to treat people to prevent rather than a cure after the disease comes. So India is also moving towards that angle, and teleconsulting, preventive healthcare, all these things are going to be on the anvil in a bigger sites. And manufacturing, yeah. Coming to the current topic, like Dr. Madhur and all spoke on this, Mr. Tushar, manufacturing and supply chain, and these are the key areas. I think we can't agree anymore that unless we strengthen sufficiently the manufacturing and supply chain initiatives to develop the capabilities, especially on the APIs, and enable the manufacture of complex generics, which is going to happen, biosimilars. And yeah, gene and cell therapies. These are the two Scandinavian countries, especially my friends from Finland and Sweden. They are giving certain information that they are already have advanced, showed little progress in this area, and the future belongs to countries like India also, where we are very strong in digital technology and also the pharmaceutical basics. And manufacturing, ease of doing business, we are only talking about it, how we can handhold the MSMEs. Yesterday, Mr. Sikri, another mentor of Indian pharma industry, the chairman of Federation of Pharma Entrepreneurs, FOP, was also highlighting the fact that because our base is MSME, Indian base, not that we are only striving around the top big 10 companies, but these MSMEs form the backbone of the Indian industry. How we can enable them to perform better. And another factor I would like to also mention that the pharmaceutical machine manufacturing also we need to, and the packaging, of course, in the both the sectors, we need to focus on a macro and micro level. Wherever it is necessary, we need to take them along with the mainstream, and then help ourselves and help the whole pharmaceutical industry at the end of the day. And also the logistics infrastructure. Here, the government has got a great role to play. I think it is the thrust of this the conversation since yesterday, what's happening. The logistics infrastructure, the government has to take all the initiatives to connect all the key pharma hubs. Now we're all working in random and very sporadically we're working. Of course, all the big pharma companies have their own setups, their logistics setups, etc., their collaborations with logistics and infrastructures. But we need to have a holistic platform which connects all the key pharma hubs like Hyderabad, Badi, Gujarat, Mumbai, Goa, Chennai, and all these pharma hubs can be connected. The infrastructure need to be available in a holistic manner for all the people, and including facilities of the cold chain. That is a key driver in the current scenario. And then how we improve the access to the medicines. Also, there are a lot of opportunities we have to improve the market access. And globally, we have a lot of best practices in drug pricing and procurement models, etc. Here, I think Dr. Madhur also agree that we are slightly, because maybe we are too overcautious. Maybe I don't use the word that we are fearful and afraid of the things, but the situation has pushed us to the wall to be in our own shells and to be working in isolation. But here, I think we need to learn from some global markets also how they are mm, improving upon themselves. Even though there is a competition among the people, competition and cooperation together. The co-optation, we have to adapt to the co-optation technology. Of course, in Indian companies also, for example, Sun Pharma collaborates with the Dr. Reddy's and Dr. Reddy's collaborates with Zydus in certain areas. But we need a bigger collaborations to ultimately to benefit the customer, to benefit the patient, and end of the day, benefit the industry also. For that, a lot of digital marketing tools can be used. And the pharma supply chain has become completely globalized in the past 2 decades, but mostly by cost optimization and other measures. However, if you see last 2 years in the pandemic situation, we are driven to the other side of the story because there are a lot of new concerns and a lot of fears related to availability of the drugs and all. But do you know the light at the end of the tunnel is, Dr. Dua always says, there is newer opportunities, newer markets, especially in the regulated markets and to some extent in the non-regulated markets also. And India has a bright chance. Can you not agree with me on this? Definitely, I'm a staunch optimist in this area, especially when we reorganize our existing supply chains and de-risk the dependence on one country. And that is what happening. I don't name that country. You all know very well. And people are looking at India now. So countries like India, not just India, countries like India. So this presents a very good opportunity for our own companies, Indian companies, to garner a larger share in the global trade and attracting and also we are seeing the trend also. A lot of companies come forward in establishing their shop again in India. And the basic key challenges always are the API facilities require abundant supply of water, the massive pollution as well. That is the major factors. I hope these are going to be addressed in the proposed pharma parks and API parks and standalone API facilities in future. And companies have a lot of costly input factors. I think these are the big problems for us, especially the post-pandemic. We are all suffering on this. I think we need to have a holistic approach to contain this. And escalations of the raw materials and logistics are really denting us, and localization and huge logistic and supply chain challenges. Yes, my dears, if you keep on talking like this, it is going to be endless. But let me tell you, sirs, at the end of the day, the whole value chain is very critical. You call APIs, you call intermediates, or you call, end of the day, the formulations. Globally, we all have relied so far to a larger extent, if not fully, on China, be it for the KSMs or intermediates, and to a greater extent on APIs also. I think that has to change, and this is going to change also. The government also will roll out are proposing the policies. Of course, we are not still happy with that. Definitely, as an industry, we all work together. And the associations like Pharmaxil, FOP, IDMA, and OPP, everybody is striving together and to convince the government to do better. I think we're only optimistic government can come and promote in a better way. Yes, but even with or without all these things, a lot of investment is going to come. You agree, in fact, that Dua might be laughing because we are seeing a lot of coming across a lot of stats, and the picture is perfect. The last few months, most probably, a lot of investments are already happening in India. Of course, not in just pharmaceutical industry alone, but several other clusters and several other industry sectors also. But pharma for sure. And this is going to be a bright sunshine, and it becomes self-reliant in future. And from industry's perspective, there's great room for industry and to improve upon basically the APIs and intermediates also, which you are talking about, and to a greater extent uh, on the current leadership on the generics and the new things like biosimilars and NCEs in the future, definitely. So with that, that sun shines bright, and we are all optimistic, and I'm very thankful for this opportunity once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Chakravarti Garu, for a very comprehensive, all-inclusive macro and micro view of end-to-end industry perspective, not only pharmaceuticals, but elsewhere. I must compliment you for being an ever optimist. And that's going to be the way India is going to move forwards towards a 5 trillion economy, if not in 24, as I said earlier, in 26 at least, if the pandemic comes into control.
Thank you very much, Dr. Duba, for your kind compliments. And as you said, I'm an ever optimist. India has been contributing and still contributing and played a stellar role in contributing to global healthcare, not just in generics, in the future, biologics, biosimilars, new chemical entities, of course, medical devices also, and a host of medical equipment as well, and in all the segments, and not to forget the vaccines. And India is going to be a force in the reckoning for the global healthcare, undoubtedly. Thank you very much.